During Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, during the Grand Prix arc, a little side series, not important, it just gave some Kaiba backstory. During the end of it, we had someone that played that was just cheating. It was just straight up cheating. Because they were using a version of this card that just did not exist, and they made it much better. Now, Golden Castle of Stromberg does exist in the real world. It makes it so during your standby phase, you must manage the top 10 cards of your deck face down, so perfect for a Grand Maju deck. And during your main phase, you can special summon one monster from your deck that specifically lists Golden Castle of Stromberg in its text. Although you can't normal summon / tap the turn you do that, so it does consume your normal summon, sort of. And you can only use that effect once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack that monster had in the field. So this card makes it so you can summon all your monsters, and your monsters can't be destroyed by battle. If your opponent even tries, they're getting penalized for it. Not bad. Let's look at some of our monsters. We have 6 of them. I'm going to start with Princess. After being normal specialed, you get a special Pumpkin Carriage from your hand or deck. Then, if Golden Castle Stromberg is on the field, you can add Glass Slippers to your hand. Now, good point to mention, all of these are based off fairy tales. Cinderella, Pumpkin Carriage, there's a castle, there's Glass Slippers. Anyway, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, target Glass Slippers equip card, and when face up monster on the field, equip the Glass Slippers to that target. Let's go over the Pumpkin right now. I have Princess. You control can attack directly. This is why this worry about attacking directly. And your opponent can't target Golden Castle Stromberg control card effects. Also can't be destroyed by them. Now, this just gives our castle protection, makes it so this thing can attack directly, but our Slippers, if it's equipped to a fairy monster, gives it 1,000 extra attack points. If this card is equipped to a non-fairy monster, it can attack. Also, it loses 1,000 attack points. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is destroyed, target Princess control, equip this card to that target. You can only use that effect once per turn. So, normal summon this. Well, activate Golden Castle Stromberg. Normal summon this. Activate continue the active use this effect. If you use this, now you have a 1,300 attack directly. That also reduces your opponent's monster's attack points. Although, I don't know how you're supposed to get rid of your opponent's monster unless you throw in some other monsters like Iron Hans. Where what it does is, if this card is summoned, you can special summon Iron Knight from your deck. Also, if Golden Castle Stromberg is not on the field zone when this resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. This might extra deck lock us, but don't worry about that. Also gains 1,000 attack while Iron Knight. For each Iron Knight you control while Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field spell zone. So technically your opponent. Let's go over its pairing card. Iron Knight. It loses 1,000 attack for every Iron Hans you have. While you control Iron Hans, not for every. It's a 700 attack point monster effectively, versus 2,200. If this card is on the field and destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard by card effect, does not specify whose card effect, you can add one Iron Hans from your deck to your hand, or if Golden Castle Stromberg is on the field, you can add one warrior monster from your deck to your hand instead. I don't really get what this is supposed to do for you. This summons this, and this, so lose / gain 1,000 attack points, and they go attack neutral? It's not like this has any like amazing effects. I guess if you summon a whole bunch of these, let me think. If you have 3 of them, because it gains 1,000 attack for each Iron Knight you control, that's 3,000 per. That means it's at 4,300. And if you have all 3, that's 4,200 per. That's a lot of damage. Although you can just fold a couple of those monsters into a Utopia double, fold that Utopia double into a Utopia, attack your opponent for 10,000 damage. Which also works. Now we just got a bird. Winged Beast, Wind. You discard it to add Castle Stromberg. Oh, copy 4, 5, 6. From your deck to your hand. If this card is no more special, you can target your opponent's power trap card, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. Finally, our boss monster. Now, our boss monster technically does take 2 tributes to make, but we got a card that sort of negates that. If Castle is on the field, you can normal send this card without tributing. Perfect. Useless, actually. We only have Castle Stromberg to special summon this, so I don't know why we'd want that. Once per turn, if Castle Stromberg is on the field, you can target one card in the field, except this card, destroy it, and if you do, it's going to make 2 attacks during each battle phase this turn. Sweet, so this is a little bit of target destruction, and a double attacker at the same time. When this card destroys a monster with battle, you can target one face-up monster you control against 400 attack. You're probably just going to target itself, or you can go ahead and target Princess, it's all up to you, and just start boosting up their attack points. Now, I would recommend you play a... Depends how you want to handle it. If you play a 60-card deck, you're more focusing on... You don't want to loot deck yourself out with Castle of Stromberg, but you might not even make it to enough turns. Well, let's do some real quick math. So if you start off with 40 cards in your deck, you draw 5. And let's say one of those already have Castle of Stromberg, you have 35 left in deck. Home goes, your turn comes back around. If that happens, you get rid of all 10 of the top cards of your deck, and you still have 25 cards. During your opponent's turn, if they somehow don't beat you yet, or you somehow don't beat them, it goes back to your turn, and you'll draw 1 card, which means you're now at 23, and then standby phase, you're at 12. Your opponent goes, you go. It takes you a while to actually deck out with this. So if you just don't play 10 cards, 60 cards, and instead just beat your opponent quickly, throw Pot Desires in this deck, throw Eater of Millions, and instead actually just play Grand Maju. Just play Grand Maju. It's going to be so much better for you, I promise you. Anyway, I did miss 1 card, though I didn't go over it. It's Iron Cage, continuous spell card. While this card's activated, send 1 monster you control to the graveyard, or if Castle Stromberg is on the field, you can send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard instead. Sweet. Once per turn, during the standby phase, you can target 1 monster in the graveyard. Send there by this effect, destroy this card, and if you do, special summon that monster to your field. So it's non-targeting, non-destruction removal. As long as Castle Stromberg is on the field. And if your opponent just so happens to get rid of it, you get to do some graveyard destruction. This doesn't sound half bad to me. Just a little bit of disruption, a little bit of... Let's go over what this deck has. Useless. Gets into this. Beat Stick. Sort of just Beat Stick. Pretty lame form of removal. And a way to deck ourselves out. Now, normally with this deck, you don't want to top deck the wrong cards, and don't top deck too often, because then you're not going to have any cards in your deck, but top deck that subscribe button is completely alright with me.